Our competitors coming from China, India, Lebanon, UK, wherever they're coming from, come with a loan with interest between 3 to 5%. How are we going to compete with them? That is why you see that Ghanaian entrepreneurs are only doing the small scale businesses. And the large scale businesses you find in this country are owned by foreigners because they get cheaper loans, come in and invest, and their cost of production is cheaper than us because of high interest rate that we took. So one of the challenges is the loan that we keep is so expensive that it's not been easy for anybody. Again, another problem we have in this country is culture. Our culture impedes progress. And if you have the same culture in your organization, it impedes the progress of the organization. Why? Here in Ghana, if somebody steals from my company and I fire him, you have Reverend Minister coming to beg, politicians like my colleagues calling me, you have your relatives, your uncle, your father, your grandfather, all of them coming to you to plead with you. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the developed countries, when you are fired, you are fired. Nobody comes to beg for you. Then again, here, when you are fired, you can go to your mother's house, can go to your father's house, and at least you will eat. In the developed countries, you have to pay your rent. Even if you are staying with your mother, you pay rent. You have to buy food. You have to take care of yourself. And if you lose your job, there is no pastor coming to beg. There is no uncle coming to beg. There is no politician coming to beg. That is why the systems are working elsewhere and it is not working here. So if you want to succeed, I tell you the truth, even your own family, don't employ them. Let them stay home. Don't employ your own family. Let them stay home. When you make the money, you take good care of them. That they'll say, oh, Uncle Ken, well, you're nice. But if you give to it, have done, study it, and challenge yourself that if Agyapong, you are fortunate to be in the university at the age of 22, 23. I went to Fordham University at the age of 33. After hawking on the street, washing plates in Germany, driving taxi, and working at the bakery in America, I decided to go to university. And here we are today. So say to yourself, if Agyapong has done it, I can do it too. I said it's 350. Sorry, I said 350,000. I said 350. After the 7,000, I've added 350 today, this year. Now, let's talk about leadership. Enough of the entrepreneurs. Leadership. A young man looked at me. The young man who was here reciting his poem looked at me and said, focus. It is one of the visions or qualities of leadership. The first one is vision. Again, you get it in entrepreneurship. Second is quality. Third, integrity. Fourth, foresight. Fifth, humility. Sixth, focus. And third, cooperation. Let's take it one by one. To be a leader, you need to have a vision. You need to have a dream. Say to yourself that I am going to make sure in the next 10, 20 years, I'll put Ghana on a different map for the whole world to see that we are created by God just like others. You have the vision. Challenge yourself. I never knew I was going to get to this point in life. But I had always said to myself, I'll be a millionaire at the age of 40. That boy from a poor village, I was a millionaire at the age of 36. So I had a vision, I had a dream that one day I'm going to be somebody. The same way a leader who is leading a country, who is leading an organization should have a dream and a vision what he's going to do for his country. And I have a vision, I have a dream. As a businessman, as an entrepreneur, young men and women here, vote for me to come to power, and you see how you need to challenge yourself as a leader when you are leading people, when you are leading a country. That look, what is the problem my country is facing? I stand here as a Ghanaian, and on top of my head, I can tell you the challenge Ghanaians are facing, especially the youth of this country. When we have over 100,000 students coming out of every year, you have only 10% getting jobs. What happens to the 90%? You need a leader who is creative, a leader who is bold and courageous to say that, look, enough is enough. Let us change the status quo and change the narrative. If we do that, Ghana will see the glory during the independence time again in this country. So we need to be courageous. A visionary leader, a courageous leader who doesn't have integrity will not be able to achieve anything. So integrity is the most admirable of all the 7 qualities of a leader. If your people believe in you that Agyapong is honest, he's credible, he will do it for us without taking bribes, you will get every citizen of this country to come on board. So without integrity, any leader who comes with force, pushing people here and there to accept his beliefs, will never work. So integrity is key. Then a foresight. You should have a foresight that this is the level I want to take this country to. A man with a foresight is able to study the market or the conditions of his own country and say that, and make a projection that in the next 5 years, this is how far I want to go with my country's economy. This is how far I want to create job opportunities for my youth. I believe in you. If not the youth that invited me, probably I would have been in America, because today distraction. So we're going to do it. The last one of the 7 is cooperation. The cooperation is when you bring everybody together and they help you to achieve it. What I always refer to the cooperation is what we call in economics, I have my former deputy finance minister here, the 80-20 rules. The 80-20 rules is simply put, 20% of your workers who believe in your ideologies and work with you can give 80% of the company's results. That is what we call 80-20. So we are going to use cooperation to bring everybody on board in terms of development. And we can do it. Let's say to ourselves that yes, we can. Yes, we can. That's the only way we can change this country. We need the cooperation of everybody. Move this country to a level where if 100,000 students come out of college, at least you have 80% of the 100,000 working. And those of you who have chosen to be here to listen to me, you are going to be the future entrepreneurs of this country. But today, you had a choice. You had a choice to stay in the classroom. You had a choice to do any other thing, but you chose to be here to listen to who entrepreneur is and who is the leader. Clap for yourself. So this afternoon, what we have learned, most of them, you don't get it in the classroom. It comes from personal experience. So I share this personal experience with you and give you confidence that each and every one here should take his destiny into his own hands and say that sky is the limit. Don't be complacent. Don't be a myopic thinker. Don't be complacent and think everything that you have is enough for you. Strive hard and make more money, create more businesses. That makes you a better person in society than anybody who did not come here to listen to this message. So young men, young women present here, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me opportunity to share these few ideas with you. And I know we are not going to get everybody to come on board to be an entrepreneur, but even if we get 10 out of the crowd gathered here, we've made an inroad. And definitely one day we will benefit from you. So say to yourself, if Agyapong has done it, I am also going to do it. And I can do it even better than Agyapong. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. First question was, how will you start a business today, considering the economic environment? What I can tell you is it depends on your capital, what you've decided to do. But to start a business, like I said, in large-scale farming and agro-processing, I'll be brutally frank, I will invest in Volta region before the north. As a businessman, because of proximity to market, because of proximity to the port, if I have my finished product from, say, Sogakope, it will take me about an hour to get to the port, 1 hour, 20 minutes to get to the market. But in the north, it will take me about 21 hours or 2 days to get the stuff or my finished product to the market, the cost of transportation alone will eat into your profit. So when you have capital and you are citing your business, you should consider location. It's very, very important. You just don't go, even if you're going to rent a shop, look at where the traffic is heavy. If you want to go into raw materials, look at areas where they are building new homes. These are how you take the decisions, the strategy, to start the business. You just don't go into business because Agyapong did this and he succeeded and therefore you're also going to go into it. No, you don't know what goes into a particular business. So you have to do a good research and not just enter into any business. When you do a good research for a product, then you can say that this is where I'm going to cite it. This is the product I'm going to manufacture. So all these things is a whole topic that we can take a whole day to discuss. Nepotism. Nepotism, favoritism is what is killing this country. No doubt about it. Recently in the news, you hear Agrada and Sami Jemfi. If I were the president, I'll fire Sami Jemfi right away, not even a second, because the evidence is clear. I don't need to go and do any investigation. To serve as a deterrent. Young men and women complete their university education, they did their national services, and even national service, you have to pay to get a good company to work with. If you don't know a politician, you cannot even do your national service. All these things are impeding progress. And because of that, because of nepotism, we always employ square pegs in a round hole. So it's a canker that we need to solve or resolve. So I'm glad you brought it up. And you also question about business and politics. It is not very easy. In business, I would have gone far than where I am today if I'm not a politician. Why? Because I belong to one political party. If there's change of government, they attack your business. The new government attacks your business. Even your own government, a friends might look at your face and they don't like it and try to kill your business. But if you're a politician and you are not a businessman, it's different. You don't feel the pain. But if you're a businessman and you are still doing politics, it is not very easy. So to balance it, all you need to do to enable you balance it is honesty. Don't compromise on your integrity. If you compromise on your integrity and do any fishy deals, any change of government, they will come after you and collapse your business. So if you want to do business and at the same time go into politics, you should know what is ahead of you. It's a high stake that you're going to take. Interest rates. First, to reduce interest rates, in this country, I have to tell you, I am not scared. I will tell you the truth because I'm a businessman. You don't need the government competing with entrepreneurs or businessmen in terms of borrowing. The government is borrowing from the banks. When we create businesses, The government will get taxes from workers, the businesses, they will pay their annual taxes and everything, the corporate taxes. When the government has enough money, it will bring the rates down because they will not be competing with private sector for loans to do other projects. So creating more employment and flooding the market with goods and services will also bring interest rates down. Today we are talking about dollar. I hear in the news all over. The economists will tell you if they are fair and they are not playing politics with it. It is not a magic from NDC government. It's not a magic from MPP government that is bringing the dollar down. It is Trump and his policies towards the rest of the world's economy that people are not demanding dollars as expected. So the dollars are sitting there. Now they are competing with China. So whatever they are saying, if Trump and the world come together again, you will see that our country did not put or implement any policies that will bring the dollar down. So whatever you are seeing here is temporal. I am telling you, it's temporal. It is not any economic gurus in this country that is causing the cedi to appreciate and the dollar to depreciate. It is the wealth market that they are not demanding the dollars as much as they used to. That is why there's no competition and supply of dollar is exceeding the demand. As simple as that. These are basic economics principles. So we have to be careful with what they are saying about interest rates and all those things. It's not magic. It is the world economy that is falling apart, and the demand for the dollar has gone down. Somebody asks about punctuality. Punctuality, I talk about time, because if you become disciplined with your time, it affects everything that you do, even the decision that you take. So if they ask you to come at 7, somebody will tell you, I live at Okanshi and I'm working at, I have a company called Platinum. We do the plastics. I always take buses to Kaneshi, Ashama, Tema Central to pick the workers. With all this, some come and they are late, because coming to join the bus is not waiting for one person. So when you are late, it leaves you, and they come back giving excuses that I live at Kaneshi. When you were looking for a job, did you tell your boss that you live at Kaneshi and therefore you be coming to work very late? If you had told your boss that you be coming to work very late, would he have employed you? So that is no excuse. You knew you were staying at Kaneshi and coming to work at free zones. So if you start work at 5, you have to wake up at 3 to get there. No excuse. Because you know, if you wake up at 4, you cannot use 1 hour to get to free zones. So punctuality is very, very important, and it helps in our daily activities. It increases production, and delays will also reduce production. So punctuality, punctuality, punctuality. That's the only way we can grow the economy. Industrialization. If I talk about entrepreneurship, what do you mean by industrialization? The businesses that we are creating. Somebody mentioned I have a steel plant worth 100 million. In fact, I don't know how he got it, but 3 days ago, the Indians came and they assessed the factory and they said it's $100 million. And I need $35 million working capital. Now, do you call Agyapong an industrialist or what? So it's the entrepreneurs who create the industries. So if we are talking about entrepreneurs, they are the same people. When you say industry, we have small scale ones and large scale ones. So at any level, those going into production, they are also part of the industrialization process. So entrepreneurs are leaders of the industries, and therefore don't get it wrong. They are the same. Language. Very interesting point. See, if we were able to use our own language, in Ghana here, they always say, oh, if you can't speak good English, it means you are not intelligent. That is what we call in Latin, fallacy of argumentum ad hominem. Okay? Because I have about 27 Indians at site now. You know, I had always had the impression that India is an English-speaking country, and therefore they all speak English. It's not true. I took them to Noble restaurant one day, having lunch with the workers, the Indians. And all of them here are engineers. But they can't speak English. Only few. They use their language. And they are fixing all these machines. Those of us going to Accra will pass by the factory for you to see. So, look, I would have been one of the brilliant students if I had used my own language. Because born at Asidompim, not Papa. You know, at the Saudi College, when we speak, they will call me, and the young ones from Radiant Way, Morning Star Association, they all turn their back. The teacher, the master was, yes, the gentleman back there. And they will turn and look at Kwame Agyapong, Anu Blofu Cheme. You know, we struggle to use the white man's language. So I think it's very interesting point that you've raised, and we need to discuss further. Maybe we've gone too far so many years, but it's still worth trying. In our own language, you see many people coming out with flying colors. Real estate and stock exchange. My lady from Nigeria, this side of the world, there are two types of real estate. I have failed in real estate. Why? Because I build or buy and rent. Have so many houses empty. Apartments in cantonments here and there, they are all empty. Those who benefit from real estate are the builders. Those who build and sell. And you see, like that is not a lucrative business. I'll give you one example. The new factory that I bought that employs 350 people, I did not pay more than $4 million for that factory, and it's employing 350 people. I have a house in cantonments that the land alone I paid $2.2 million. So completion, what would be your estimation? So instead of going into real estate, preferably you go into manufacturing, because what I'm earning from the $4 million company, in the next 2 years, I'll get my money back. Whereas The properties that I have are sitting there idle, empty. Nobody is buying it. You see so many apartment buildings going for sale, for sale. They are there for sale. These are the contractors who have decided to go into real estate. It's not a bad idea. The mere fact that you've given it a thought shows that you want to be an entrepreneur. So I will encourage you, but be careful which area you enter into. It's very, very important. But I'm not, honestly speaking, I'm not fascinated with it. I'll give you one. I don't have to tell you, but I don't want you to make mistakes. So I'll share my personal experience with you again. I put 3 million aside, 1 million at a bank for my new house, 1 million to complete my new coastal, and 1 million to do the earthwork, the civil works at the steel plant. Would you believe that the $1 million I put in my house is finished? And when you go there, it's uncompleted. The $1 million I put in the coastal, when you go there and see the level, something that is going to bring me money, when you see what $1 million has done with the new coastal, 31,000 tons, you have no idea. $1 million in the steel plant, when you go there and you see the earthworks that they've done. But meanwhile, the house, $1 million is like you have a sieve. Now you're dropping the water in there. It goes just like that. So you have to be careful with real estate. That is all I can tell you. It's good. It means you want to be self-independent. You want to do your business. It's good. But you have to be careful. I'm not saying I'm writing it off completely, no. But try other manufacturing areas and you see what will happen. And stock exchange. With what I'm doing with the industries, I call it lazy approach. You know, one of my daughters work at the Google. Started buying stocks. One day, said, "Daddy, let me show you. I made $432,000. No, she's just about 24. I think this February she was 26. $432,000. Just about 2 months ago, the 432, because of the volatility of the stock exchange, the money dropped to about 200,000. But if you put it in a business where you have time to manage it yourself, you will see the outcome. They are in America and they don't know this kind of manufacturing and how they are going into it, and therefore they're going into stocks. It's good, but I call it lazy approach. Because you can spend about $300,000 and have this water manufacturing company. And in the next 1 year, you will get your $300,000 back. So stock exchange and real estate, if you are into business, this side of the world, you see that stock exchange and real estate, they don't bring money. I'll give you a typical example again. Donald Trump, when we were in America with Trump Palace and all those, then we have Hemsley Palace, all those. Now the tech guys have taken over. The tech guys, technology guys, they've taken over. So you should watch the trend, how it's going before you invest. Priority. I mean, when we talk about priorities, you should set goals for yourself. And the goals that you set, some are more important than the others. So you have to start. Another example, I'm a pragmatic guy, and therefore I always want to give practical examples from my own experience. I stole idea from Honorable Sticker. A friend of mine was going to buy a car at $250,000. And Honorable Sticker came to me with equipment that he has imported to build his water bottling company at $250,000. Whose priority is right? Because when you buy a car at $250,000, you take it out of the showroom to your house, the value depreciates right there, because you drove the car from the showroom to your house, depreciation sets in. Whereas when you set up the factory, appreciation, it appreciates in value. So every individual should set his priorities straight. Some of them are just lavish. Some of them, when you invest in, it assures your future. So priority in every decision making, you have to prioritize the most important points first, the most important project first, before you go to others. Then the last one, we talk about savings. You need to save. No matter how small your money is, if you want to raise capital and you have a vision, you have a dream to be yourself one day, you have to save your money, no matter how small it is. But one day, you accumulate enough capital to invest. So do not think that you have a dream, a good proposals, and you are going to bank for a loan. You are going to work for the bank for the rest of your life. I hope I've exhausted the questions so far. Thank you very much.